That's where the magic happens.
Alcohol. There's all the mixed
No.
We just do this again.
If only we could.
There's time. But you look like Brains from Thunderbirds. Welcome back to Bar Humbug. Today we're catching up with an old friend we haven't seen since episode 1, my mate Dean. We're heading down to Port Melbourne to check out Starward Distillery. How are you?
I'm well, yourself?
Welcome back to Bar Humbug. So we're going to do a whiskey masterclass. Last episode we did was a gin masterclass. If you haven't watched that one, I'll put a link for it up there. And we're currently out in front of Young & Jackson's, first opening 1861, a Melbourne icon. There's a few people in town today.
Good. You back alive.
Now to get to Starward, we have to travel to the historic suburb of Port Melbourne on the 109 tram. Guess what? Tram is next.
Stopping at Northport. Stop 127.
We're actually going to the Railway Club Hotel for lunch.
At 2 o'clock.
At 2.
If there's something to eat before the whiskey.
I think so. Very wise move to fill up big.
A high-end pub.
Yeah. We'll see.
Check it out.
Established as far back as 1875, the pub's front bar retains its genuine local hominess, while the dining room out the back hosts one of Melbourne's best and busiest gastropubs.
Thank you very much.
The Railway Club is particularly noted for its excellent wine list, amazing pub fare, and extraordinary steaks.
Keep your eyes on the fries. Where'd that steak go?
How was lunch?
Awesome.
Oh,
Beef cheek must have been cooking for a week.
I reckon there's a few buckaroonies kicking around here, buddy. I reckon you and I could pull our stuff together and we still couldn't afford it.
Done.
You ready to go in?
We are.
Oh, how are you going?
My name's Patty.
I'm Dean.
Hi.
Michael.
Thank you so much. Welcome to Starward.
Awesome. Thank you.
Established only in 2004, Starward has quickly built itself an international reputation as a Melbourne whisky icon.
Hey, that's how we do it. You good?
Good, thank you.
Got a couple of drinks for you here, guys.
Awesome.
So this guy here is the 20 old fashioned. This is using Nova, 20 port, and then just some Angus syrup in it. Really simple, easy, 3-ingredient cocktail that you can buy everything at Dan Murphy's to go home and have. This one here. This is called the Oh Brother. This guy here is Solera, which was the first whiskey that we ever released. And then it's a honey liqueur, smoked maple syrup in here as well, which is made by the guys at Saltsmith who make bacon. And then just some fresh lemon juice.
Give it a crack.
Yeah, awesome.
Great. Can we stay?
Take a seat, my friends.
That's where the magic happens.
Just going to pour you guys a little whiskey. We're going to start off with our first whiskey, essentially. This is our Solera. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty details later on, so drink away as we chat. Hope you enjoy it.
The first part of our masterclass tonight is an introduction to Starward, where it started, where it's headed, and what makes it so special.
Together they came with the star, it'd be a pure form of like heat on fire, and they just played around with the word. They came with Starward. I was like, actually, this fits. Like, this is perfect. This is a untraditional style of whiskey looking forward. Does anyone not know the basics of how whiskey is made? The basics of whiskey is you take your grain, add water to it, then you add your yeast and ferment it, then that mixture you distill into a spirit, and then put that spirit into casks, barrels and wood, and aging a whiskey in Australia has to be aged for a minimum of 2 years. For us, we start off with our grain, and we use an Australian brewer's farm. So it's all grown in Victoria and South Australia. Tasting there. What happens when you're malting?
These are wheat bix.
You release all these like
It does taste like wheat bix.
You get about 1 bottle of whiskey from a kilo of grain.
Shane is one of those people who lives and breathes making whiskey. And there's nothing about the process he isn't intimately familiar with.
There's all of this stuff.
From the tasting of the wash down to production and operations, there's no question that Shane didn't have an answer for.
There's time.
Our tour finishes in the Starward tasting room where we're stepped through the finer points of whisky tasting and etiquette, allowing us to sample some of the finest Australian whiskies we've ever tried.
It looks sophisticated. They look like brains from Thunderbirds. Excellent. Yeah.
Take a seat anywhere you like this. I'll bring them.
No worries.
This is a pretty cool place, you know. It's like one of the most beautiful bars I've ever seen. In the middle of a distillery. I've been to a few distilleries and they all either seem to have a big beautiful bar and you can't really see the distillery, or a big beautiful distillery and the bar isn't so much. Yeah. We're so lucky here to have the best of both worlds.
That pot's still sitting out the front.
Yeah.
That's where it all started.
Yeah. So that was our very first still. Dave, our founder, and Sam, our production manager, drove up somewhere in New South Wales. Some guy that was just selling off all of his gear, didn't want to distill anymore, and bought it for its weight in copper.
Serious?
Yeah. We did exceedingly well. Everyone that works here is so passionate about what we do. You know, you can really see through a bartender when they're not selling their product, and everyone here really loves what we do. And we make these incredible cocktails. You know, we're really unbiased with how we drink our whiskey. You can drink it neat or mixed, but we also have this killer cocktail list, which you can't get many other places. And a lot of people try and tell you how to drink your whiskey, but here it's just drink it how you want to enjoy it.
Yeah, anything except Coke.
But you know, if you're going to buy the $129 bottle, you can do whatever you want with it, really. So Thursdays currently open 3 to 9, Fridays and Saturdays 12 to 10, and then Sundays 12 to 7.
Come on down to Starward, tell them Bar Humbug sent you.
That's it.
Thanks guys. See ya.
Starward Distillery. I thought it was great. And the whiskey is just absolutely awesome. Absolutely sensational.
We've got a whole range of whiskies which you can't buy at Dan Murphy's, and they are just like next level. I learned today that whiskey has legs in glasses. Like who would have figured that?
So if you're used to Starward twofold, there's so much more to the brand. And the premix is
Insane.
a whole new market.
It's sort of like a coffee old fashioned. It's just
Two of my favourite things, coffee and whiskey.
and a beautiful Negroni.
A beautiful Negroni. It's not something you hear
That's
very
a hard
often.
thing to say.
But theirs is really good.
Overall, it's a great place, and I absolutely give this one a 9.5.
That's what I was going to say. 9.5. Sensational.
As always, drink responsibly.
Hit the little subscribe button. Thanks for coming with us, Bar Humbuggers. We'll catch you on the next one.
Gotta get this on. Cheers.
See ya. See you next time.
What's your opinion of Melbourne's public transport?
I still love it. The seat for everyone.
Welcome back to Bar Humbug. Bar Humbug. Starward Distillery. Starward Distillery. Starward Distillery. You're talking shit now.